Hello guys, welcome back to our channel, and in this video we are going to make this portfolio website using Next.js and Tailwind CSS. So this will be our portfolio website. Let me give you a preview about this website. So this will be our neighbor section, and this is our hero section. Then we got some services, and these are the card made using glass morphism effect. So yeah, after that we have project section, and we have provided some images and some context about the project and the link to that project. After that, we are going to have a tool section and what tool you use on daily basis. And lastly, we are going to have a copyright, or you can say footer section for our portfolio website. So this portfolio website is very easy and plain and also premium. So in this video, we are going to make this portfolio website on the Next.js framework and using the Tailwind CSS. So let's get started. So let's start by creating a Next App project here. For that, go to the terminal and inside that write npx create next app latest. Then enter and our project name will be portfolio Next.js. Then we are going to use TypeScript. Yes. Tailwind CSS. No. Yes. No. And this will generate our files here. And now inside the terminal, first go to the project directory, which is cd portfolio, and then let's install and then write npm I paired icons. And this is the only dependency that we are going to use in our project. After that, let's start our server. For that, write npm run and then go to this URL, and this is our home page. Now let's go in the app directory and inside the page.tsx remove all these lines and then write a simple div here. Inside the layout.tsx we are going to change the font, so we are going to use space mono space mono, and inside this we are going to give weight here, so that weights and then a square bracket, and it will have two weights 400 and 700 and then a comma. Now copy this and paste it. Let's go back in the page.tsx and let's write hello, save it and go back here. You can see our text and the font. Also in the global.css we are going to remove these parts and then we are going to paste this CSS, and this is all the CSS that we are going to write. Other than that, we are going to use the Tailwind CSS for our styling. Now let's go back in our page.tsx and now let's start building our application. So inside the page.tsx and inside div write one more div, and here we are going to have our neighbor, so that name and then we are going to make that component here name bar.tsx, and inside that write tsrarc, then let's import it here, import neighbor. Now inside this div we are going to have a class name, and here we are going to give a width of 10 by 12 and mx auto to make everything in center, And now let's go back to the navbar.tsx and start making our navbar. Inside navbar component, first thing we are going to do is to make this a client component. And then we are going to import our use state. So at use state, and then inside this navbar function, we are going to define a state which will be show nav and set show nav, and then it's equal to use state, which will be a type of boolean, and initial value will be false. And now inside this div, first we are going to give it a class name. So class name, it will have a flex property item center, justify between flex no wrap, w full, padding bottom will be 3, and border bottom will be 1 pixels, and then we are going to give a border color which is neutral 500. Now inside this div we are going to have one more div, and it will have a class name sm text 3xl text xl xl. So if the window size is above sm, it will have a font size which is 30 pixel, and if it's below sm, then it will have a font size which is 20 pixel. Along with this, we are going to have font bold inline block, and then inside this too we are going to have an anchor tag with a href slash and then a class name inline block, and then inside this I'm going to add Sattu. You can write whatever you want. Let's save it, go back here, and now you can see we have our logo here. Maybe I should give a padding top here. So go back to the page.tsx and give a padding of 24. And now below this div we are going to have one more div with a class name of sm hidden, and then on click function which will set the value set show nav, and then we are going to use exclamatory mark show nav. So this on click function will just toggle the value of show nav. And now inside this too we are going to have our hamburger icon. For that, go to the browser and write react icons and search hamburger, and I'm going to use this one. So copy and below import, let's import our hamburger by using curly braces from react icons slash g5, and now let's use it here and then give a size of 24. Now let's save it and go back here, and for a second let's know this css. Let's save it and go back here, and now you can see our icon here, and below this div we are going to have our name, and this name will have a class name of max sm absolute, max sm w full, left will be 0, transition is in, and duration will be 300 milliseconds. Then we are going to use our ternary operator show ifs. So if shown is true, then we are going to have top value of 16, and visibility will be visible. Otherwise, we will have max sm invisible, top will be 0. And inside this name, let's write another list with a class name of flex item center max sm text sm justify between and max sm justify around. And then inside this UL, we're going to have our allies. It will have a class name of py1. If hovered, then we are going to change the background to bg neutral 700. Then we are going to give a transition ease in, and duration will be 300 milliseconds. And then we are going to give a delay of 100 milliseconds around it, mx1. And then we are going to write our ternary operator. If shown is true, then we are going to give max sm translate to x is equals to 0. Otherwise, max sm translate x is equals to 32. And inside this li, we are going to have our anchor tag with href services and a class name px2, and inside this write services. So similarly we can write for project and contact me. Now let's save it and go back here, and you can see our neighbor is ready. Now let's also inspect it, and now if I start decreasing our window size, you can see that after sm, below sm, our hamburger icon pops up, and if I opens it, you can see our menu here. So the data navbar section is ready. Now let's work on this hero section. For that, let's make a component here, and container tsx, and now let's import it here. So below this div, we are going to import our container, and then let's save it and go back here. Now let's start working on this. So in our container component, we are going to need some social media icons. For that, let's import them from our React icons, and these are the icons that we require. You can search on this website if you want to, like for Instagram, like this, and you can choose any of them from here. Similarly, you can go for the GitHub, Instagram, Dribble, and Twitter. And after that, we are going to write our JSX here. So remove this container, and then let's give a class name, and if the window size is above LG, then we are going to give a padding top of 16. Otherwise, we're going to give a padding top of 4. Position will be relative, and width will be 10 by 12 mx auto to make everything in center. After that, we are going to give another div with a class name of md flex item center justify between, and we are going to reverse the direction of flex. So like flex so reverse, and then we are going to have one more div, and as usual we are going to give it a class name flex justify and item and max md. pt4. After this, make one more div and give a position of relative, and then we are going to have our image here. So our image name is and.png, and let's start giving the class names. So it will have a width of 100%, which is w full, h auto, transform, and then we are going to give a scale in x direction of 100 to flip in the horizontal direction. Then we are going to give a width of 600 pixels, and the alt you can write hero image. Now below this image we are going to have a div which will be the background circle. For that, let's give a class name. It will have a width of 60%, overflow hidden, h will be 70%. Then we are giving it a z index -1 to send it back to the image. Then let's give a top value of 10%, left will be 20%, rounded full. Then give a background gradient color to R, and then give a from slate 600 via slate 500 to slate 400. So this will be the gradient for our circle. And lastly, let's give a position of absolute. Let's save it and go back here. And here you can see our image and background circle. Right now image is too big, but when we make the left part, it will come to the desired size. So for that, let's make one more div outside this div and give a class name p4, pl0, mt5, and sm mt20. And now inside this div, we are going to have a p tag with the class name of text excel, sm text to excel, md text excel, lg text to excel, excel text 3excel. And inside this, write hello. After that, we are going to have a h1 tag with the class name text 4excel, sm text 5excel, md text 4excel, lg text 5excel, and excel text 6excel. Then pt2, lg pt6, and then inside this we are going to write this, and then inside the h1 tag we are going to have a p tag with the class name of text excel, sm text to excel, md text excel, lg text to excel, excel text 3excel, py4, and then write. Then below this h1 tag we are going to have one more p tag with the class name text base, sm text excel, md text base, lg text excel, excel text to Excel LGPT6, and then inside the p tag we are going to write this text. After that, below this p tag we are going to have a div with the class name of flex item center mt6 md mt14, and then inside this we are going to have an order list with the class name flex item center space x2 sm space x5 mr6 my4, and then we are going to have li. So inside the li we are going to have anchor tag, and then we are going to have a class name. So if hover, then we are going to give opacity of 100, otherwise we are going to give opacity of 75. Then let's give a transition of ease in, and duration will be 150 milliseconds. And then inside the add tag we are going to have our icons. So first will be AI outline GitHub, and it will have a size of 24. Similarly, we can have our other icons, same class names. And now let's save it and go back here, and you can see our icons here. Now we just have to make a email button here. For that, outside this UL, we are going to have an anchor tag, and in the href we are going to write mail to, then your email ID. So I'm going to give my email ID. Then we are going to have our class names. So px4 py 5 pixels, white space no wrap, transition is in, duration will be 150, bg neutral 700. If hovered, then we are going to give bg neutral 600, rounded to Excel. Border will be 0.5 pixels, and then give a border color which will be hashtag 363636, and then write, and then inside anchor tag write email me. Let's save it. Go here, you can see our button here, and if I click on this type of window in your PC will open to send the email. So with that, our homepage is ready. Let's check its responsibility. So yeah, it's responsive as well. And now let's work on our service section, where we are going to make our class 4 museum cards with our services. So let's make a component here at services.tsx. Before importing our service component here, let's have our div, the class name of box w10 by 12 mx auto max md. md will be minus 50 pixels, and md8 mb of minus 20 pixels. Let's save it and go back here, and here you can see a wavy pattern which we make from this div. So we have used this class, we have defined that here dot box, and if you want to know about this pattern, how we make that, I'll provide a link to the article where you can learn how to make this that kind of pattern from the CSS. And now after that, let's import our component here. So that services, and let's save it. In the service section, I'm going to use these icons from the React icon, and after that, inside this tag, we are going to give it a class name w10 by 12 and mxauto, and inside this field, we are going to have the h1 tag with the class name of md text 4xl, text 3xl, lg text 5xl, font will be bold, and margin bottom will be 10. And inside this, we are going to write services. Below this, we are going to have a div with a class name of flex maxmd flex wrap cap will be 7 and justify will be between. Then we are going to have one more div with a class name of dp5 relative overflow hidden and margin top is 5. Here d is the class to give the class more hidden effect here, and then inside this we are going to have h1 tag, then a class name will be text center, and margin top will be 5, and inside this write UI UX design. Below this we are going to have one module with the class name flex justify center MT4, and then we are going to have our icon, so write MD design services, then a class name text pink 500 and size will be 28, and close this. Let's save it and go back here. Let me give some margin bottom here, margin bottom of 30. So you can see our card is here. Now below this div we are going to have a p tag, a class name of text center, and margin top will be 10, text neutral 300, and then inside this we are going to have a span with a class name of text axle, font bold, and inside this write UI UX, and outside this is span like this. Let's give a space here now, and now below this p tag we're going to have one more p tag. Let's give a class name, and again text will be center, margin top will be 10, margin bottom will be 7, and then we're going to give a anchor tag with the class name of px4 py2 rounded sm, border will be 0.5 pixel thick, and then we are going to give a border color, and we are going to give a box shadow md text gray 400 over text. green 500, and then inside this tank, and then inside this anchor tag we are going to write our text. Now let's save and go back here. You can see our card here. Now we have to give some glowing effect here around corner and here as well. For that, below this p tag, we are going to have a span with a class name w of 60 pixels, edge will be 60 pixels, red index will be -2, blur will be 100, so that 100 pixels, left will be 45%, BG white, and position absolute, top 0. Now let's save and go here, and you can see we have nice glowing effect which is white color. Similarly we can add some more here, so that span, class name 20 pixel, height will be 20 pixel, z will be -2, blur will be 20 pixel, left will be 48%, BG pink 600, absolute from top value will be 27%. Again we are going to have a span, then class name, it will be 50 pixels, height will be 50 pixels, blur will be 70 pixels, right 0, BG blue will be 600, absolute, and bottom will be 0. And lastly we are going to have a null span with a class name. Let's copy that from here. W will be 25 pixels, actually 25 pixels, Z will be -2, blur will be 40 pixels, top will be 75%, left will be 40%, BG green, BG green 500, sorry 600, absolute, and bottom will be 0. Now let's save and go back here, and you can see that we have some nice effect here. Similarly, we can make our other two parts. I'm just going to copy that from my GitHub and paste here and save it. Go here, and now you can see that we have some nice cards here with glass morphism effect and these glowing effects. And also let's check its responsivity. So with that, our service section is also ready. Now we have to work on our project section. And here let's remove this margin bottom because we don't need that. And for our project section, let's go back to the page.tsx and copy this line and paste it here. and remove this CSS. And now let's save and go back here, and you can see we have one more VB line. So inside the app, let's make one more component named projects.tsx and tsrefc. And then let's import in our page.tsx, so that import projects and then write project here. So inside the project, we are going to use a upright arrow for from the React icons, and then inside this, we are going to give a class name of w10 by 12 mx auto. Then h1 dead, and it will have a class name md text 4xl, text 3xl, and lg text 5xl, font bold. Then write projects. Below that, we are going to have one more p tag with a class name pt6 text neutral 300, and inside the p tag we are going to write our text. So you can copy that from my GitHub. Then after the p tag, we are going to write div at the class name margin top of 20 mdw 9 by 12 mx auto, and inside this div we are going to have our image source will be project.png, and we are going to give a class name of rounded pixel opacity will be 90, and on hover we are going to have opacity of 100, and below this we are going to have a div with a class name my10 sm w10 by 12 mx auto, and then inside div we are going to have h1 with a class name of text 2xl, font bold, and margin bottom of 4, and inside this write length. Then we are going to have a div with a class name text neutral 300, and then inside this we are going to write this text. Let me change this to p, and after that below this p tag, let's write a div with the class name of mt6 inline block, and then we are going to have a tag class name flex item center px4 py1 border of 0.5 pixels, border slate of 500, rounded 3xl, pg neutral 800, and on over bg neutral 700, and inside the a tag write explode, and below that we are going to use our icon. So bs arrow upright size will be 14, and class name will be ml2, and then close it. Now let's save and go back here, and now you can see our project section here. We got our image and the explore button and some description about the project. Similarly, we can add some more projects here, and then save and go back. Let's scroll down. You can see our We have our another project here, then this, and you can add as many you like. And with that, our project section is also ready. Let me show you this button. You can add some more animations in this if you like, but right now this section is ready, and now we have to work on the tool section. For that, let's make one more component here, tools.tsx. After that, go back to the page.tsx, copy this, paste it here, and then import our tool, save, and you can see our curvy line here, and then we have our tool section here. Now let's go back in the tools.tsx and remove this. Then inside this, we are going to give a class name w10 by 12 mxauto, and then we are going to give a h1 tag, and it will have a class name md text 4xl. You can just copy that from here. So I am copying all this and paste here, and you just have to change some text. So here will be tools, and in place of this we are going to write this, and now below this p tag we are going to have a div with a class name of mt20 grid display lg grid calls 3 sm grid calls 2, otherwise grid calls 1, sm cap will be 10. Now inside this we are going to have an anchor tag, and it will have a class name. So border of 0.5 pixels, border neutral 500, block rounded 2xl, and margin in y direction will be 6. Inside the anchor tag we are going to have a div with the class name of py8, pg neutral 500, w will be full, text center rounded txl to xl, and inside this we are going to have our image. So image, let's give a class name, max width will be 80 pixels and rounded 2xl, mx auto, brightness will be 90, and contrast will be 1 to 5. Now inside the src we are going to get planet scale .jpg, and then below this div we are going to have one more div with a class name of p8 and p by 10. Inside this we are going to have a h1 tag with a class name mb1 and font bold, and write planet scale. Below that we are going to have p tag with the class name text neutral 400, and inside p tag we are going to write this text. Let's save it and go back here. Let me give some margin bottom, and you can see our one card is here. Similarly, we have to add some more cards. So for that, I'm just going to copy that from my GitHub and paste it here. Now let's save it and go back here, and you can see our other cards here. And let me inspect it and check if it's responsive or not. And you can see that it's responsive. And lastly, we have to add a footer here. For that, go back to the page.tsx, and below this tool, we're going to write a div, then give a class name w10 by 12 mx auto m by 10, and inside this, write one more div with the class name flex item start text to excel text neutral 300, and inside this we are going to have a p tag with the class name text 5xl mr2 mt 2 pixels, and inside the p tag write ampersand hashtag 169 colon, and outside this write perfect code, then a small, and it will have a class name. So mt 2 pixel and ml will be 2, and write 2023. Save it and go back here, and now you can see we have a footer copyright perfect code 2023. So let's remove this, and with that our portfolio is ready. You can see we have our navbar, our hero section, then our service section with these cards, then we have our project sections, tools, and lastly we have our copyright. So with that our portfolio is ready. Like and subscribe. Bye bye.